All right, what's up, social workers? So welcome to week 3 of the course. And this one, we're gonna be diving into values, ethics, professionalism, and every one of us has our personal values, things that really guide us. They're, our compass, if you will, that help us navigate life. Social work is no different, where we have a set of values that help govern professionalism, doing right, advocating, all that fun stuff. And one of the important ethical, practices that we do with our clients is that of informed consent. And so for those that have been through practice, they might have noticed like informed consent goes really, really quick, but it's actually a really important portion of our job. Legally, we want to do it because we want to talk about our left and right limits within practice. We all have a duty to warn, to provide safety, and to advocate for vulnerable populations. And that might happen in practice. And it's happened in my practice quite a bit. So it's incredibly important to talk about what stays in the office and what we might need to take out. So informed consent is, for me, not only an opportunity to talk about our boundaries, but what treatment is going to look like. And so boundaries are incredibly important because you might be one of the first nurturing, supportive, or even mature people in a lot of these clients' lives. And so it's important to establish boundaries where therapy happens within the therapy office. Not available 24/7. We're not going to hang out. We're not going to go get coffee together while we're practicing any of that stuff. And that's not just for them, it's for us as well. All therapists are susceptible to burnout, so we need to set our own boundaries to take care of ourselves. There have been a few times where informed consent can be a little challenging, and so I encourage you to practice, sharing it like, hey, what we talk about here stays here. It's almost like Vegas that way. However, there are some times I might need to take this information outside of this office. If in our conversation I get to a point where I'm not completely convinced that you can keep yourself or other people safe, we might need to take the information outside of here. We might need to contact the authorities. We might need to contact EMS, go to the hospital, and that is for your safety or other people's safety. Additionally, if there's any comments about any harm towards vulnerable people, so abuse towards children, elderly, people who are handicapped, I'm gonna have to report that to certain entities. And as a medical professional, I'm ethically bound to do so. And so, for the most part, what we'll talk about here stays here. Any questions about any of that stuff? Often I'll shift over to what my practice will look like. So I might share a metaphor, or I like to say like, hey, I'm a very experiential therapist where if I notice things in session, can I have permission to pause you and just maybe work on certain things? And you can do the same for me. You can pause me, what have you. So, shifting gears a little bit to some this week, I'm gonna ask you to turn in a journal article where you'll reflect on your own personal values. Like I mentioned, values are super important, and you have your own set of values. And I encourage you to think about the type of therapist you'd like to be and the values you strive to live by. No one's gonna see those entries but me, and I'd be happy to give you some feedback if you'd like on that. So, friendly reminder that the Cultural Competence Project is coming up. So just take a look at the syllabus for any questions about that. So until next time.